Hey there, New Hope. Pastor Dan here, and I tell you what, I have been struggling for the last couple of days, really even the last week, knowing that I probably needed to get on and do a devotion on Facebook, and I have just not known what to say or what to share. There's always 100 different things I could share, but I always want it to be something that's meaningful from the heart. And so I've been just wrestling with what do I say? What do I share with the congregation right now? And I've really had a hard time nailing that down. And today I felt like God spoke a word to me, to my heart, that hit such a chord that I thought, well, maybe there's other people out there that need to hear this as well. So what came to mind was King David when he was suffering the potential loss of his child with Bathsheba, and he was really wrestling with that. He was seeking God. He repented. He mourned, and when he could do no more, when that child did pass, he got up, he showered, he shaved, he dressed, he went back to being king. And that's what God had called him to do. So he did it. And that, I guess, spoke to me very powerfully right now. And I know that many of you, many of us, are suffering different things, different losses in many different areas right now. And it's good in those losses to seek God, to mourn, even at times to repent when that's appropriate. But eventually, we have to get up, dust ourselves off, take a shower, and get back to our role, whatever that is, to whatever it is God has called us to do, whatever God has given us to do. We have to do those things. And that's what God has been speaking to me. And maybe that's something God can speak to you as well. And then again, maybe not. Maybe that's not where you're at. But God will show you. And one thing I recently heard from Paul David Tripp, who's an author I really think a lot of, he has been going through a season of suffering health issues. And as I heard this, it really resonated with me. He said this. He said, "It's not just what you suffer, it's how you suffer what you suffer." And I've been thinking a lot about that. I've had plenty of experience in my life with suffering, and how I suffer does have a tremendous amount to do with what I'm bringing to the table. And so I want to challenge you to ask that question of yourself. In whatever suffering I may be facing, what am I bringing into my suffering that makes it harder? What is that? And I'll just say this. When I was a kid, I remember suffering in darkness, right? Maybe you can relate to that. Like most of us, I was afraid of the dark. And I brought all kinds of irrational fears with me into that darkness. And I would suffer those fears. Maybe you've suffered those fears. And then one day, it was it was like a light bulb went off. I had the realization that anytime I was in the darkness, all I had to do was turn on the light. Which was like mind-blowing, right? And I remember in my room, and I had a room in a basement, so I had a drop ceiling. And so you have those grids, those metal grids, and I actually hooked up a string that ran across my ceiling on little paper clips that were hooked into those metal grids, and then down the wall, and I taped that string to the light switch. And so I didn't even have to get out of bed and face my fear at that level to go and turn on the light. I literally could reach up and find that string, and I think I had put a paper clip on the string, and I'd pull it, and the light would come on. It was life-changing. When the light goes on, the darkness flees, right? And this is the thing I want to say to you is that if you're a Christian, I have great news. You have Christ, the light of the world, dwelling in you. So whatever potential suffering you face, when you turn on His light, the darkness flees. It has to. Darkness and light can't exist in the same place. So, when you think about what do I bring to my suffering, what you can bring to your suffering is the light of the world. So, go shine. Whatever it is God has made you to do and called you to do, get up, dust yourself off, and go do it. Go shine. He's in you. Hey, I'd love to see your comments or thoughts on this in the comments below. I also want to say this. Pastor Nick's been working on a great message about the source of our peace for this Sunday, and we've been bouncing some ideas off on this, and I can't wait for you to hear this. So I hope you'll be with us on Sunday at 9 or 10:45, and we'll dive into seeking the source of peace. So join us then, and hope you're doing well, and may God bless you. See you soon.